Good afternoon. My name is Aaron Robinson, and along with my classmate, Jose Coronado, we are creating a documentary video to show the need for transparency in government, in particular, the funding of the Iraq and Afghanistan wars. On September 11, 2001, America was attacked by a group of men that was financed and trained by Osama bin Laden. They were able to hijack several commercial airlines and crash them into the Twin Towers in New York City and the Pentagon in Washington, D.C. America at that point was ready for war at any cost. The price of freedom, which is priceless. 2 years later, we decided to do a preemptive strike on Iraq based on the premises that Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction. And once again, we were ready for war at any cost. According to Stiglitz, who is a world-renowned economist, the cost of the Iraq and Afghanistan war is $3 trillion and counting. Now, how do we pay for this war? Congress approves the war based on a budget. According to Senator Dorgan, the government passed out these no-bid contracts. These are contracts that went out to different companies with the awarding of these contracts without any competition. And one of the biggest benefactors of these no-bid contracts was a company called Halliburton, who just happened to have Vice President Cheney as its former chief. And at the time of the awarding of these contracts, Vice President Cheney was still on the payroll. Now, with transparency, we like to advocate that maybe if everything was done in the light, these contracts would have went out to companies that had more integrity than Halliburton itself. Halliburton received billions of dollars in contracts. They charged the American government for 42,000 meals. What they only served 14,000. So there was 28,000 meals that were being charged to the U.S. government that were never served. They also charged $45 for a case of Coke. They charged us $7,000 a month to lease an SUV. According to the Congressional Budget Office, we have an accountability problem. $18 billion was flown over to Iraq and stored in someone's basement. It kind of reminds you of the Wild Wild West, where we had people showing up in Iraq and Afghanistan with brown paper bags, and if you were to do something, they would fill that brown paper bag up with cash and you would be able to take off. We had employees playing football, throwing that $18 billion around in the basement. And to this day, according to the Government Accounting Office, we have no idea of what happened with that $18 billion. So with transparency, that would require those contract companies to itemize and to show everything that money was being used for. Because who's paying for it? We are paying for it as taxpayers. The taxpayers are paying for that $3 trillion budget that we have. Next year, El Paso is on the hook for $214 million. El Paso will have to pay $214 million as part of the contribution towards the war in Iraq and Afghanistan. Now, would you want that $214 million to go to a company like Halliburton or a company like North Star, which was created by a guy sitting in his basement in sunny San Diego? He was awarded $1 million contract, but yet on the record, we cannot find any services rendered by this individual. So with transparency, everything should be in the light. The awarding of the contracts, what the money is being used for to fight these wars, because once again, we're paying for it. And now that $214 million that the taxpayers of El Paso have to account for, according to priorities.org, at least 23,000 students could receive a full-time scholarship with that $214 million. According to Stiglitz, our response to this recession here at home is directly related to the cost of the war. That we are not able to create a second stimulus package because of the money that was spent during the war. Now, if the money was tracked and accounted for through transparency, then maybe the war would not cost as much, and therefore we would have a better response to the recession here at home. We are the taxpayers. Some of those contracting companies, again, are benefiting from the war. Soldiers are dying. You have companies over there torching $85,000 trucks for the simple fact that they don't have the proper tools to change a tire. So it's a brand new vehicle worth $85,000 and they're just torching it on the side of the road. Why? Because it's a cost plus contract. It's no loss to the company, it's a loss to the taxpayer. So those vehicles that are being torched because we don't have the proper tools to fix them, it's just being added cost coming back to us. With transparency, we can put everything on the table, we can know where our money is going, and we can save money. So this is what we want. We would like for you to contact your state representatives, your House of Representatives, contact Mr. Reyes, and let your voices be heard here in El Paso. You know, we are paying for the war. You can contact us at our advocacy website, which is iweb.iss.utep.edu/AA.Robinson/my site, or you can email me at arobi24989@elp.com.